Dawn breaks over Cape Fear River, January 15th, 1865. Fort Fisher's earthen walls stand defiant against Atlantic winds. This fortress guards Wilmington, the Confederacy's final lifeline. Admiral David Dixon Porter commands 60 warships assembled for vengeance. History's most powerful naval armada prepares to unleash hell. I pace my flagship's deck, telescope trembling in my hands. Christmas Day's bombardment failed spectacularly. Butler retreated without fighting. Now my reputation hangs on crushing these cursed walls. Every captain watches, judging. Will Porter prove naval artillery can reduce coastal fortresses? Today answers that question with fire. Colonel William Lamb watches darkness gather on the horizon. Not storm clouds, but enemy sails. 1,500 defenders man 47 guns behind earthen ramparts. We survived Porter's Christmas fury, but that admiral won't forgive humiliation. He'll throw everything at us now. My men prepare for an apocalypse arriving by sea. Powder boy Michael Chen hauls explosive charges from the magazine, his 14th birthday forgotten. 200-pound shells wait in neat rows. Other boys joke nervously about Fisher's reputation. One bombardment already failed against those earthen walls. Will today be different? His hands won't stop shaking despite orders. Lamb inspects traverse walls, massive sand mounds protecting gun positions. Engineers designed Fisher specifically to absorb naval bombardment. Brick shatters, earth swallows impact. Physics favors defenders. Yet no fortress has faced Porter's assembled firepower. Can sand withstand mechanical hurricane? Tonight's mathematics will prove theories correct or bury us. 7:30, Porter raises the signal flag. Flagship erupts first, then 59 warships unleash coordinated fury. Ocean disappears behind smoke and flame. Fort Fisher vanishes inside artificial thunderstorm. Shells scream overhead like demons descending. The bombardment begins. 400 tons of metal hourly. History holds its breath. You crouch behind Traverse 13 as Thomas Carter, Confederate gunner. Explosions shake earth like earthquakes. Sand rains from protective walls collapsing overhead. Your crew loads, fires, loads ants, fighting thunder. Why continue? Because surrender means Lee's army starves in Petersburg trenches. Wilmington supplies must flow. Duty outweighs survival instinct. Porter's monitors creep closer, armored hulls deflecting return fire. These ironclad monsters mount 15-inch guns, hurling shells 2 miles. They anchor dangerously near Fisher's walls, firing point blank. Navy tradition demands officers lead from danger's heart. Through smoke, I calculate destruction's mathematics. Each shell brings victory closer. Inside Fisher's bomb-proof shelters, Sarah Henderson clutches her daughter while explosions collapse tunnel entrances. Other families huddle in darkness, soldiers' wives who believed earthen walls impregnable. Children cry. Mothers sing hymns against mechanical thunder. 400 tons of metal rain hourly above our heads. Faith competes with physics tonight. Commander James Parker watches his crew work with mechanical precision. 300 shells since dawn. Barrels glow red hot. Sailors pour seawater over smoking metal. My brother died at Gettysburg. Every shell fired avenges him. War becomes personal mathematics. Confederate deaths equal Northern losses balanced. Grief calculates in explosions. 17 guns disabled, sir. Lamb's artillery officer reports disaster accumulating. Traverses collapse under repeated impacts. Yet Northeast Bastion holds firm if that corner falls. Union infantry storms through breaches. Redirect every operational cannon toward expected landing zones. Buy time. Trade metal for minutes. Desperation calculates in seconds remaining. Noon. Porter signals ceasefire. Smoke clears, revealing Fort Fisher's outline seemingly unchanged. But closer inspection shows parapets crumbled, gun carriages shattered, flagstaff toppled. Earthen walls stand despite punishment. Order intensive bombardment of Northeast Bastion. Infantry waits offshore, watching their entrance form through persistent destruction. Patience breeds victory. General Alfred Terry commands 8,000 soldiers aboard transports. You watch naval bombardment with mixed awe and anxiety. Soon you'll wade through surf under Confederate fire. Butler's December retreat branded your regiment cowards. Today proves infantry finishes what navies start. Honor demands blood. Your hands check rifle compulsively. Confederate defenders emerge during ceasefire. Bodies lie twisted near destroyed positions. Surviving crews drag wounded toward hospital bunkers. Our chaplain ministers last rites while shells resume falling. Between explosions, someone starts singing Dixie. Others join. Defiance sounds like harmony against mechanical thunder. We're still here, Porter, still fighting. Porter's gunners target ammunition magazines. One direct hit explodes Fisher from within. Confederate engineers buried powder deep underground with multiple protective layers. Yet probability favors persistence. 400 shells hourly eventually find buried weakness. Mathematics predicts catastrophe. Time calculates advantage. Patience equals victory in industrial warfare's brutal arithmetic. Private Samuel Moore writes farewell between bombardments. 19 years old, never kissed a girl. His hands shake describing explosions. Hell arrived by sea today. The letter will never mail. Hours from now, Moore dies defending Traverse 9. His body won't be identified. War erases identity, leaving only casualties counted. Signal Corps uses flag semaphore coordinating targeting between ships. This synchronized bombardment represents modern warfare's evolution. Individual courage matters less than mechanical efficiency. I command not sailors, but floating artillery platforms generating industrial-scale destruction. War transforms from personal combat into systematic annihilation. Progress arrives wearing death's face. Surgeon Anton Repeton amputates limbs without anesthesia. Screams mixed with explosion sounds indistinguishably. He works by candlelight, tunnels shaking with each impact. Medical training never prepared him for this production line of mangled bodies. His apron drips constantly. Surgery becomes mechanical butchery under bombardment's relentless rhythm. Healing transforms into triage. 3 o'clock. Northeast Bastion shows critical damage. Walls collapse inward, creating ramps infantry can climb. Porter signals Terry, landing authorized. 8,000 soldiers board surfboats. They row toward Fisher's beaches while naval guns provide covering fire. Bombardment shifts, concentrating on interior positions. Invasion begins at last. Lamb watches landing boats approach. Our remaining guns fire at packed targets. Some boats capsize, drowning soldiers and heavy equipment. But most reach shore. Blue-coated infantry swarm beaches, forming attack columns. Naval bombardment lifts. Sudden silence feels more terrible than noise. Close combat replaces artillery. Steel meets flesh now. Colonel Newton Curtis leads his brigade toward breached walls. Sand slows movement. Confederate sharpshooters fire from protected positions. A bullet creases Curtis's skull. Blood blinds him completely. He continues forward, shouting orders while crimson streams down his face. Officers die first. Leadership demands visible courage despite personal agony. You are Captain Zachariah Adams positioning your company behind the breach. Bayonets fixed, waiting for Union infantry climbing exposed ramparts. This position is fatal, you know that. But retreat means abandoning wounded comrades. Honor binds tighter than survival instinct. You draw your revolver. Mathematics favors blue uniforms tonight. Union sailors and Marines attempt assault on Fisher's sea face. Naval tradition demands they fight ashore too. But sailors lack infantry training. They charge bravely, stupidly, across open ground. Confederate fire slaughters them in windrows. Bodies pile 3 deep. Naval courage proves insufficient against entrenched defenders holding elevated positions. While naval assault fails catastrophically, Terry's infantry penetrates breached northeast bastion. They fight traverse by traverse, each earthen wall becoming separate battlefield. Close-range combat replaces artillery, bayonets, rifle butts, fists. War devolves into primal violence. Men kill neighbors over 20-foot sand mounds. Geography fragments into intimate murders. I personally lead counterattacks, rallying exhausted defenders. Shell fragment wounds my hip. I continue fighting, leaning against traverse walls. Blood soaks my uniform completely. Officers beg me to seek medical treatment. I refuse outright. Fort Fisher stands or falls with me, present. Command demands visibility regardless of pain. Captain Adrian Terry, the general's brother, breaks through toward Fisher's interior magazine. Confederate defenders realize his objective instantly. Desperate fighting erupts around powder storage. If the magazine explodes, both sides die together. Men fight knowing victory means mutual destruction. Survival instinct wars against duty's demands. Logic collapses. Darkness falls. Fighting continues by moonlight and muzzle flash alone. You can't distinguish friend from enemy anymore. Units mix chaotically. Bayonet fighting becomes accidental fratricide. Officers lose command control completely. Battle devolves into countless individual combats. Organization collapses into survival. War returns to its primitive essence. 10 o'clock. My leg wound worsens. Blood loss forces evacuation. Defenders see their commander carried away. Morale breaks instantly. Without my presence, resistance fragments. Individual traverses surrender separately. Some positions fight until midnight. Others throw down weapons immediately. Leadership's absence creates vacuum. Courage requires example. I failed them. Terry's soldiers secure Fort Fisher traverse by traverse. Confederate survivors emerge from bomb-proofs, hands raised. Some cry openly. Others stare blankly, deafened by bombardment. Union troops find civilians, sheltering in bunkers, women, clutching children, all covered in dirt. War's brutality reveals its intimate human cost beyond military casualties. I survey captured Fisher from my flagship. Bodies float in surrounding waters, mostly sailors from failed naval assault. 1,900 Confederate prisoners counted. My fleet fired 50,000 shells. This bombardment exceeded Crimean War's Sevastopol siege. Industrial warfare just demonstrated its terrible efficiency. Navies proved decisive. Victory tastes bitter. Inside Fisher's ruined hospital, Union and Confederate wounded lie together. Surgeon Repetin continues working, now treating both sides equally. Medical ethics transcend uniforms. He amputates blue and gray limbs with equal care. Suffering erases national identity. Pain speaks universal language. War's aftermath reveals Brotherhood bombardment destroyed earlier. General Braxton Bragg watches Fort Fisher fall from Wilmington's ramparts. He commands troops too distant to assist helplessly. Fisher's capture dooms Wilmington. Lee's army in Virginia will starve without this port's supplies. Tonight's defeat decides the war's outcome. Bragg understands history, pivoted on this January evening. Inevitability arrives. Union soldiers discover Fisher's powder magazines intact, despite bombardment. 30,000 pounds of gunpowder sit untouched beneath protective earth. Confederate engineering succeeded brilliantly, yet superior numbers prevailed anyway. Technology delayed defeat, but couldn't prevent it. Physics bows before logistics. Courage calculates against industrial capacities. Mathematical certainty, always. Private Moore's unfinished letter is found on his body. You read his words describing bombardment's terror. You cry, recognizing your own fear in enemy handwriting. You pocket the letter, intending to mail it to Moore's family. War briefly permits empathy. Death creates uncomfortable brotherhood. Enemies become human posthumously. Captured Confederate soldiers board transport ships. They watch Fisher's ruins recede. Many defended this fort for months. Now it belongs to strangers. Some prisoners weep openly. Others maintain defiant silence. Defeat tastes bitter, regardless of courage displayed. History remembers victors. Losers become footnotes despite equivalent sacrifice shown. Terry's casualties exceed 600. Many died capturing traverses after bombardment. Naval assault lost 300 sailors uselessly. Porter's shells killed fewer Confederates than Terry's bayonets. Bombardment softened defenses, but infantry decided outcome. Combined arms, doctrine is proven. Future wars will remember this coordination between services. Wilmington citizens hear Fisher fell. Panic spreads instantly. This port sustained their city through 4 years of blockade. Now isolation looms. Food prices skyrocket overnight. Speculators hoard supplies. Rich families plan evacuation. Poor residents face starvation. War's economic consequences arrive before occupying armies. Commerce collapses faster than fortifications. Lee receives telegrams about Fisher's fall in his Petersburg trenches. His army survives on half rations already. Wilmington's closure means starvation. Mathematical certainty replaces hope. Lee calculates how many weeks until surrender becomes inevitable. Command reduces to arithmetic. Honor can't feed soldiers. Defeat becomes predictable through logistics alone. In Washington, Lincoln learns of Fisher's capture. This victory ensures his military strategy succeeds. Strangling southern ports proves effective. Yet Lincoln feels no joy. He reads casualty lists, recognizing war's human cost. Victory tastes like ashes. Preservation of Union required this bloodshed. Necessary evil remains evil nonetheless. Confederate soldiers imprisoned after Fisher's fall will survive war's end. Most return home to destroyed farms. They'll tell grandchildren about January 15th, 1865, the day Earth shook from naval bombardment. Their stories will emphasize courage, rarely mentioning defeat. Memory softens history's harsh edges. Narrative edits reality. Union sailors who survived the failed frontal assault struggle with survivor's guilt. They watched comrades die attacking impregnable positions while infantry succeeded elsewhere. Bravery proved insufficient. Tactics mattered more than courage. This lesson haunts them permanently. War teaches that dying gloriously achieves nothing if strategy fails completely. I recover from wounds in Union Hospital. I request permission to visit Fisher's ruins. Walking through captured traverses, I remember faces of dead defenders. Each earthen wall holds ghosts. My engineering succeeded. My soldiers fought magnificently. Yet numbers overwhelmed excellence. Defeat despite perfection feels particularly bitter to accept. Porter's flagship sails from Cape Fear. His bombardment proved naval artillery could reduce coastal fortifications. Future military doctrine will cite Fisher. Naval power just expanded strategically. Yet Porter privately mourned sailors lost in unnecessary frontal assault. Pride competes with regret. Victories cost troubles, conscience, despite strategic success achieved. Months later, April brings war's end. Veterans from Fisher meet at surrender ceremonies. Former enemies recognize each other from January's fight. They share whiskey, comparing scars. Battlefield animosity dissolves into mutual respect. Combat creates bonds transcending politics. Men who tried killing each other become friends, united by trauma. Fort Fisher remains abandoned after war. Wind fills traversed trenches with sand. Atlantic storms erode earthen walls. Nature reclaims battlefield efficiently. Visitors find rusted cannon barrels and human bones. The fort becomes tourist destination. People picnic where hundreds died. Time transforms tragedy into curiosity. History becomes entertainment for spectators. Historians debate whether naval bombardment or infantry assault captured Fisher. Porter claims artillery proved decisive. Terry insists infantry courage won victory. Both are correct. Combined arms achieved what neither could alone. This January battle demonstrated modern warfare's complexity. Future conflicts require coordination between services. Fisher taught that lesson. Samuel Moore's mother receives his final letter years after war. The Union soldier who found it kept his promise. She reads her son's description of bombardment. His fear becomes real across temporal distance. She cries for the boy who never returned. War's pain echoes through generations. Memory preserves suffering. Confederate veterans' reunions feature Fisher survivors. Old men recount January 15th's bombardment with embellished details. Stories grow more heroic annually. Memory edits reality, removing fear, emphasizing courage. They describe standing firm against impossible odds. Truth matters less than narrative. Veterans create mythology from trauma. Legend replaces fact. Modern historians excavate Fort Fisher's ruins. They find unexploded shells buried in sand. Artifacts reveal daily life during bombardment: playing cards, tobacco pipes, broken spectacles. These mundane objects humanize defenders. History exists in small details. Grand narratives miss intimate realities. Archaeology resurrects forgotten individual experiences from Earth. Today, Fort Fisher is preserved as memorial. Rebuilt earthen walls approximate original defenses. You walk traverses where men fought desperately. Informational plaques explain bombardment's technical details. But statistics can't convey terror, courage, or suffering. History simplifies complexity. Memory reduces chaos into comprehensible narrative. Truth becomes approximation always. What if Fisher held? Would Wilmington supplies have sustained Lee's army through 1865? Could prolonged war have forced negotiated peace? Alternative histories fascinate endlessly, but January 15th decided reality. Porter's bombardment and Terry's infantry closed the South's last major port. Defeat became inevitable afterward. The battle demonstrated industrial warfare's nature. Victory required overwhelming material superiority. Courage and skill mattered less than resources. 50,000 shells decided outcome. Future wars will remember this lesson. Modern conflict becomes industrial production applied to destruction. Human factors diminish. Logistics determines destiny in mechanical age. For participants, Fort Fisher remained life's defining moment. Veterans measured everything as before Fisher or after Fisher. That January day created permanent psychological scars. Some thrived despite trauma. Others drank themselves to death. Combat experience shapes character unpredictably. War's impact lasts beyond battlefield's temporal boundaries forever. Naval historians consider Porter's bombardment history's first truly modern naval assault. Coordinated fire from 60 warships anticipated 20th century operations. Fisher foreshadowed Normandy. This 1865 battle pioneered combined arms doctrine. Military evolution happened on Cape Fear's beaches. Innovation emerged from desperate necessity. Progress requires experimentation always. Lamb's engineering principles influenced future coastal fortifications. Earthen walls absorbing impact rather than resisting proved superior to masonry. Fort Fisher's design appears in coastal defenses worldwide. Defeat taught valuable lessons. Military knowledge advances through analyzing failure. Lamb's legacy survived his battle's loss. Ideas outlast individual defeats. The battle's racial dynamics remain uncomfortable. Union forces included black soldiers fighting alongside white troops. Confederates fought partially to preserve slavery. Yet individual soldiers on both sides thought about survival more than ideology. Combat reduces politics to personal stakes. Killing erases philosophical distance. War's immediacy overwhelms abstract causes. January 15, 1865 changed participants forever. Young men entered battle believing glory awaited. They discovered horror instead. Bombardment revealed war's industrial nature. Romance died with first shell impact. Survivors carried psychological wounds alongside physical scars. Trauma became their permanent companion. Memory haunted futures relentlessly. Families on both sides waited for news. Telegrams brought joy or grief randomly. War distributed tragedy without justice. Good men died senselessly. Cowards survived accidentally. Fate operated capriciously. No divine plan explained suffering. Randomness governed outcomes. This realization disturbed 19th century religious certainty. Faith struggled against evidence. I achieved career pinnacle at Fort Fisher. My naval bombardment succeeded where Butler failed. Professional triumph crowned my life. Yet private doubts remain. Was victory worth lives lost? Did glory justify bloodshed? Success tastes complex when purchased with others' deaths. Command burdens conscience with responsibility. Achievement mingles with guilt. Confederate defenders returned home to destroyed South. They rebuilt lives from ruins. Fort Fisher's loss seemed small compared to civilization's collapse. Yet that January battle taught personal lessons about courage, fear, and survival. Experience shaped character more than outcome determined history. Individual growth mattered beyond strategic consequences. Historians now recognize Fort Fisher as Civil War's turning point. Lee's surrender followed inevitably after Wilmington's closure. January 15, 1865 decided the conflict. Yet participants couldn't know their battle's significance. Soldiers fought for immediate survival, ignorant of historical implications. Meaning emerges retrospectively. Understanding arrives after events. Modern military studies analyze Porter's bombardment techniques. His coordination between ships anticipated networked warfare. Fisher demonstrated information superiority's importance. Signal flags synchronized fire effectively. Communication technology proved strategically decisive. These lessons influenced 20th century doctrine. January's battle pioneered concepts defining modern combat. Innovation happens during crisis always. The battle killed approximately 500 men total, small number compared to Gettysburg or Antietam. Yet each death destroyed families. Statistics hide individual tragedies. Numbers abstract suffering. Behind casualty, reports existed real people, sons, fathers, brothers. History remembers battles. Families remember missing loved ones. Scales differ dramatically. Fort Fisher's capture demonstrated Union's industrial superiority. 50,000 shells represented manufacturing capacity Confederacy couldn't match. Economics decided military outcomes. Courage couldn't overcome resource disparities. This January battle revealed war's modern nature. Victory required factories more than battlefield heroics. Industrial Revolution transformed combat fundamentally forever afterward. Today, Fort Fisher stands silent. Atlantic waves crash against beaches where men once fought desperately. Wind whispers through preserved earthen traverses. You photograph ruins without understanding blood soaked this sand. History becomes abstraction. Memory fades inevitably. But on January 15th, 1865, ordinary men experienced extraordinary terror here. Remember them.